Hello students, welcome to EPG Pathshala. I Nidhi Singh, Research Scholar in Division of Forensic Science, Galgotias University. In this current module, you will be made aware regarding the speaker recognition and tape authentication. After listening to the lecture, you will be able to understand the process of voice production. Next, to understand the forensic importance of voice analysis and speaker identification. To acquaint yourself with process of speaker identification. To understand the process of tape authentication. Introduction. The human voice is unique and distinguishing characteristics of humans which may be then stand apart from entire animal kingdom. The ability of flexibility of human voice allows us to portray our thoughts, emotions, joys and fears. Each voice is unique in itself and act as one of the identifying characteristics of individual. The voice is produced when muscles press air from lungs through the larynx. The vocal cord vertebrates and interrupt the air and produce a periodic pressure waves. The pressure impulse are called pitch impulse. The frequency of pressure signal is the pitch of frequency or fundamental frequency. The frequency of the pressured signal is the part that defines the speech melody. The frequency of vocal cord is determined by several factors: the tension exerted by the muscles, its mass and its length. These factors vary between sexes and according to age. The pressure impulse are stimulating the air in the oral tract and for certain sounds also the nasal tract. When the cavities resonate, they radiate a sound wave which is the speech signal. Both tracts, vocal and nasal, act as resonator, which characteristic resonance frequencies called formant frequencies. These formant frequencies are used for identifying and individualization of particular voice. It is possible to change the cavities of mouth by moving the jaw, tongue, velum, lips and mouth, helping us in producing various sounds. Forensic phonetics focuses on the analysis of spoken communication for the purposes of justice, for identification of suspected speaker of a questioned voice or speech samples. It includes speaker identification, enhancing and decoding spoken messages, analysis of emotion in voice. Authentication of recording and related. The forensic phonetics comprises of two major elements. First, which involves the analysis, usually electroacoustical or those speech signals which have been transmitted and stored, and second is that of analyzing the communicative acts themselves. Holland in 1990, the first of these two domains addresses the enhancement of speech, intelligibility, speech decoding, including accuracy of transcripts, the authentication of recording and the like. The second area involves issues such as recognition of speakers from their voices, identification of the health, emotional or psychological states of the talker and the analysis of speech for evidence of deception. Tape authentication. Tape authentication involves forensic analysis of standard monophonic and stereophonic cassettes and microcassettes tape recordings. The time domain waveform for recorded signatures are analyzed in terms of relative timing, offset for determining azimuth of the record head used, marking a specimen tape. Additionally, exoneration of the erased signatures into the guard band region is a reliable indicator of original versus a coupled area's signature. Second, production of voice. Voice organs, voice anatomy, mechanism of voice production. Voice organs, the main components of the human speech system are the lungs, trachea, windpipe, larynx, pharyngeal cavity, throat, oral or buccal cavity, mouth, nasal cavity, nose. Normally, the pharyngeal and oral cavity are grouped into one unit called the oral tract. The nasal cavity is normally called the nasal tract. Voice anatomy. Sound consists of variations in pressure caused by the movement of molecules. The order for these to start moving, there must be a source of energy in human beings. This role is played by respiratory organs. In most cases, speech sound rely on air supplied by the lungs. During inhalation or inspiration, the diaphragm contracts and moves down, whereas the rib cage is elevated as a result of the action of muscles between the ribs. The enlarging the thorax, as the compartment enlarge, the lungs expand, which in turn result in the pressure inside the lungs dropping below the air pressure that surrounds us, known as ambient or atmospheric pressure. It is through the inflow of air that the two pressures are equalized. Conversely, when breathe out, therefore, during exhalation or expiration, there is a downward movement of the rib cage and a relaxation of the diaphragm, which then returns to the normal dome shape. This results in a reduction of the thoracic cavity and the compression of the lungs, which in turn leads to an increase in the pressure inside them. And as the pressure inside the lungs is higher than the atmospheric pressure, air flows out in order to equalize both pressures. The entire process of breathing in and out is known as the respiratory cycle. At rest, this takes place some 12 to 15 times a minute, while it increases to 30 times during strenuous exercise, etc. However, during phonic respiration, therefore, our breathing during speech, the inhalation time is reduced, sometimes to as little as half a second, whereas the exhalation time is increased to about 5 to 10 seconds. Though in rapid, excited speech, when we wish to convey more speech, it can go up considerably. The larynx and vocal folds. The larynx is the popularly known as Adam's apple. It lies immediately below the root of tongue and is composed of framework of cartilages connected by means of joints and fibrous bands, ligaments and membranes. The larynx has both speech and physical, therefore anatomical functions. Its main physical function are to protect the entry of lower air passages and to prevent food, etc. from going down the trachea. To understand the speech function of the larynx, that is its role as sound production organ of a vocal apparatus, we need for the discuss major components. The larynx includes two big cartilages in the larynx. The lower one is called the cricoid cartilage, which is situated just above the highest ring in the trachea. Resting on this cartilage is the so-called thyroid cartilage, which is made up of two square-shaped cartilages that are joined at the front of the larynx, at the top of where the two surfaces join together. There is a small V-shaped gap. This is actually what is known as colloquially as Adam's apple. Inside the box formed by thyroid and cricoid cartilages, we find the vocal folds, lips or cords, that is 2 to 3 aided pyramid shaped muscles, which project into the cavity of larynx. The vocal folds are stretched across the larynx from front to back. The opening between the vocal fold is called the glottis. At the front, they are joined together and fixed to the inside of thyroid cartilage, whereas at the back they are attached to a pair of small cartilages, the arytenoid cartilages. These are the most vital organs of speech since they move the vocal folds. The arytenoids articulate with the cricoid through a joint which allows them to rotate and slide, and thus to open and close the glottis, helping in voice production. Mechanism of voice production. The production of voice is a complex interaction among a number of different body systems. The lungs serves the role of activator in human voice production. As one breathes in, negative pressure is produced that actually pulls air into the lungs. As we expire or exhale, that air serves as the source of power for setting up the vibration of vocal folds. The vocal folds themselves serve as a vibrators, and it is the fine control of the movement of the vocal folds that allows for the flexibility of the speaking and singing voice. In the body, the face and sinuses and the chest serve as resonators, which give the voice its timbre or character. In addition to these three important areas, other body parts and systems play important roles. Tension in the jaw or neck will reduce flexibility and increase the onset of fatigue. The voice is strongest when the body is in the upright position. Not many opera roles allow the figure to recline, and musculoskeletal problems can affect the best posture. In addition, the diaphragm and abdomen are important in support of voice. So, abdominal conditions such as cramping or bowel disorder may have a negative impaction voice. The psychological system is important in the confidence one has in his or her voices, as can be seen by the fluttering of the voice when a person is nervous or anxious. Finally, refined coordination of muscle movement and sensory control are adjusted by the neurological system. Voice box muscles are named according to the cartilages to which they are attached. Speaker recognition. Speaker recognition comprises those activities which attempt to link a speech samples to its speaker through the acoustic or perceptual properties. Speech signal provide information regarding speaker characteristics, spoken phrase, speaker emotions, additional noise, channel transformation, etc. The process of speaker recognition has two broad application areas: explicit speaker identification and speaker verification. Speaker identification deals with identifying a speaker of a given utterance amongst a set of known speakers. The unknown speaker is identified as the speaker whose model best matches the input utterance speaker. Verification is a more direct and coveraged effort loading to either acceptance or rejection of the claimed identity of a speaker. Components of speaker recognition. The main components of speaker recognition system are feature extraction and classification. The classification module is further divided into two parts: pattern machine and decision. Feature extraction. This is the foremost step in the process of speaker recognition. This segment processes the acquired data, that is a set of features, vector or parameters from the speech signal representing some speaker specific information, which results from complex transformation occurring at different levels of the speech production: semantic, phonologic, phonetic and acoustic. There are different ways to categorize the features from the viewpoint of their physical interpretation. Following categories have been proposed. Short-term spectral featured. These features, as the name suggests, are computed from the short frame of about 20 to 30 million seconds in duration. They are usually the descriptors of the resonance properties of the supralaryngeal vocal tract. Voice source features. These features characterize the glottal excitation signal of voice sounds such as glottal pulse shape and fundamental frequency, and it is reasonable to assume that they carry speaker specific information. Spectrotemporal features. It is very much a rational assumption that the spectrotemporal signal details such as Forman transmission and energy modulations contain useful speaker specific information. Prosodic features. Prosody refers to non-segmental aspects of speech including syllable stress, information patterns, speaking rate and rhythm. These features depend upon the long segments like syllables, words, utterances and reflects differences in speaking style, languages, background, sentence type and emotions of speaker. High level features. These features attempts to capture conversation level characteristics of speaker such as characteristic use of words, oh, you, no, oh, yeah, etc. Other features are the dialogue of any language used in the conversation by the speaker, accent of the speaker and the style of speaking, pattern matching and decision. The pattern matching module deals with comparison between the estimated features to the speaker models. Some of the pattern matching methods used in the speaker recognition include hidden Markov models HMM, dynamic time wrapping DTW, neural network and vector quantization VQ. In case of verification, this module provides an expert with a similarity, a core test sample and the claim identity, while in case of identification, the module gives similarity score between the test sample and all the available samples in the database. The evaluation of these scores is done using decision module and the results are accordingly presented. Various approaches to speaker recognition system. In the discipline of speaker recognition, a wide range of methods and procedures are adopted by experts for identification. Auditory analysis. Such type of analysis involves a group of trained phoneticians giving their judgment regarding the similarities and dissimilarities between the two speech events. After hearing the samples again and again to find out some similarities in their linguistic, phonetic and acoustic features. Human listeners are robust speaker recognizers when presented with a degraded speech. Listener performance free from all type of limitations like the signal to noise ratio, speech bandwidth and amount of speech material. Distortions occurring in the speech signal as a result of speech coding, transmission system, etc. In this technique, different utterances of the speakers are segregated in respect of each speaker by way of repeated listening of recorded conversation. The segregated conversation of each speakers are repeatedly heard to identify linguistic features and phonetic features like articulation rate, flow of speech, degree of vowels and consonant formation, rhythm, striking times, pauses, etc. There are cues in voice, and speech behavior, which are individual and thus make it possible to recognize the familiar voices. Experts working in the several governments forensic laboratories including laboratories in Germany, Austria, Sweden and Netherlands and Spain, and in private practice in countries like the United Kingdom and Germany are still practicing this phonetic acoustic technique for identification. However, with any human decision process, it is generally believed that the auditory analysis by a listener leads to a subjective decision. Spectrographic approach or voice print identification. This involves the semi-automatic measurements of particular acoustic speech parameters such as vowel formants, articulation rate, which is sometimes combined with result of auditory phonetic analysis by a human expert. In 1941, an electromechanical acoustic spectrograph was developed by Dr. Ralph Potter Bell Telephone in laboratory with an idea to convert sound into pictures. A sound spectrograph is an instrument which is able to give a permanent record of changing energy frequency distribution throughout the time of speech wave. The spectrograms are the graphic display of amplitude as a function of both frequency and time. Examiners usually inspect and compare similarities or differences of pattern of energy distribution in the spectrograms. It is generally believed that formant structures and other spectral characteristics which are evident from a spectrogram are unique for each individual. The most widely used features are fundamental frequencies, formant bandwidth, formant frequencies, spectral composition of fricatives and plosives for individual segments and transitions. However, the main drawback of this voice print analysis is that the spectrograms of the speech signal from same individual will show large intra-speaker variations because of the fact that no speaker actually is capable of producing two identical speech utterances. Next, tape authentication. In many cases, an audio forensic expert is called upon and examine taped evidence to provide an opinion on whether or not a tape has been edited or doctored in any way. Specifically, this translates into an analysis of the temporal sequence of events found on the tape that correspond to record, start, pause and stop. Operations of one or more tape recording devised. This typically includes the analysis of record event signatures corresponding to the interaction of the tape surface with the electrical activation and deactivation of AC blast record, erase heads and or contact with a permanent magnet erases head. The analysis includes oral analysis, the critical listening, visual analysis of the time domain, waveform, the waveform analysis, and the via visual analysis of the bitter pattern of the magnetized surface of tape, the magnetic development. The bitter pattern, a visual representation of magnetized portion of tape rendered visible through a low power microscope, result from the application of micron-sized iron particles in a liquid. Suspension to a tape known as ferrofluid, a camera or video recorded can be used to document the event in addition to examining record event signatures to determine continuity or editing. Audio forensic experts are also sometimes asked to confirm if any evident tape is a original recording or a copy. Evidence of an original versus a copied tape usually results from similar record event signature analysis. Whenever possible, while it is possible to determine that a record stop event is a copy via the analysis techniques just described, an audio forensic expert can never determine with absolute certainty if a recording is truly original. One can only state that the recording is consistent with an original recording. As an example, an original recording can be recorded to a computer, digitally edited and then played back to a cassette recorder containing a tape with leader at the start and end. The leader cannot be recorded upon the since it has no metallic surface that can be magnetized. The action of the tape recorder corresponding to the record start and record stop events cannot be observed via either waveform or magnetic development analysis. It is on occasion useful for an attorney to have an audio forensic expert impugn the reliability of witnesses' testimony in cases where a specific tape recorder is claimed to have been used to make a specific evidence tape. Intra-machine variability. Inter-machine variability makes it far easier for an expert to eliminate a specific machine rather to identify it. Finally, the forensic audio expert and legal practitioners must bear in the mind differences between what has been termed technical authentication versus legal authentication. While related, the audio forensic expert is not required nor are they responsible to legally authenticate evidence in legal senses. Technical authentication is within the expertise of audio forensic experts. Thank you.